Can you use the Galaxy S8 in 2021 or should you still buy one? Is it worth buying in 2021? Let's find out. What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and let's find out, can you still use this beautiful looking small compact design phone, the Galaxy S8? So the S8 and the S8 Plus were released in April 2017 and now are almost 4 years old, but looking at this design, it is still a very modern, premium, sleek looking phone, especially this small S8. It was my most favorite design for a phone, and both of these phones were the best looking phones at that time, I think, and still are premium classy phones in terms of the design. And for reference, this is how big is the S8 Plus compared to the S8, and I have made a separate video for the S8 Plus. Definitely check out that as well. The S8 has a 5.8 inches screen and the Plus has a 6.2 inches screen. Both phones are glass and aluminum frame and both have Quad HD resolution, and the S8 has a higher pixel density, 570 ppi, than the S8 Plus, which has a 529 ppi, and both screens are very sharp, bright, rich, colorful, and HDR10. You cannot say that these phones are like 4 years old looking at this display. It is clean without any notch or punch hole, which I personally like it, and is still better looking than many new phones for sure. The S8 is smaller and sleek looking, and you can find this thing for a very cheap price now, like $100 for a used one or $120 to $200 for a refurbished one. The price may be different depending on where you live, so if you are on a budget of like around 100 or 150 and planning to buy one, go ahead, and it is definitely worth the money. I mean, this is a flagship phone with top 2017 flagship specs. Speaking of the specs, it has the Samsung Exynos 8895 or Snapdragon 835 octa-core 10nm chipsets, which were flagship processors at that time, and today both of these are kinda outdated in front of the new processors, but still they might be faster than many mid-range processors like Snapdragon 600 or 700 series and are still performing very well. In daily tasks, it doesn't feel that both of these phones are like 4 years old, but in heavy tasks like gaming or multitasking and other heavy apps, they definitely feel much slower than the new flagship phones, and there are lags and slowdowns here and there, but still I think are better than so many mid-range phones now. Also, one major problem with the performance is the software, which I will talk about, but if you are a normal user like using your phone for some social media, calls, music and stuff like that, then definitely go for it because you will not have any kind of problem with such use. Also, you will feel much better than using a new mid-range phones for sure because of the premium design and build and camera and screen, etc. Speaking of the camera, this was one of the best smartphone cameras at that time and still captures very decent photos, but it is simply not the 2021 camera, especially in terms of the features and gimmicks. Still, it can shoot very clear pictures in daylight, but in low light it is simply not capable. It can shoot 4K 30fps video as well, and video quality is also very decent. I will not say buy it for the camera, but if you are the person who takes photos regardless of looking deep in them and you just use them for social media, then this camera is still worth using. Speaking of the software, which is the worst part, I think, it is at Android 9 One UI 1.0 and it is slow and lags, but fortunately it is still usable. You can download apps and they run normally, like not slow, but things are steadily getting slower. The phone also gets hot in some heavy tasks, but if you are a general user, don't worry about that. There is also that backdoor method of custom ROMs, but I think many people just don't want to mess around with their phones, and that also will not have any significant effect besides slightly improving your experience. The app support is still there for this version, but I think it is getting outdated and will not be usable soon, or if so, then with much frustration. Speaking of the battery life, the S8 has a 3000 mAh battery, which is small by 2021 standards, but the battery life is still not very poor. You can get 3 to 4 hours of screen on time, and with the Plus one you can get up to 5 hours of screen on time, as that has a 3500 mAh battery. The Snapdragon variants have slightly better battery life, but not significant, and also if you get a refurbished one with newer battery or you replace the battery, you might get some extra charge. But overall, with normal usage for an average user, there is no any big problem in terms of the battery life, especially considering it's a 4 years old phone. After that, it has some very useful extra features like expandable storage option, water resistance certification, a fast fingerprint sensor, a very good loud bottom speaker, a heart rate sensor, an iris scanner, and very awesome colors. And for durability, I would say it is a durable phone among the glass phones. After using it without a case, you will see some minor scratches on front and back, and it has Gorilla Glass 5 both on front and back, which is very strong and will not damage with some slight drops. But remember, don't try at home because glass is glass, and you know what I mean. There is also that issue of screen burn-in with OLED panels, so don't use your phone with maximum brightness for a long period of time, or one type of content on the screen for extended period with maximum brightness. And carefully look at the screen when buying a used one, because there is a greater chance of screen burn-in in most cases. So should you still buy one in 2021? I will not recommend buying it for any reason unless you are on a budget of around 100 to 200 and you want a flagship style phone, and also you are a very general user. If so, then this is still a very good phone, especially it has a gorgeous display, very premium sleek design, a decent camera, still better than many mid-range phones, and some extra useful features. And for the not recommending things are the slower performance, software is getting outdated, and below average battery life. But if you are still using it, you probably should be okay with it, and if you want to upgrade, then there are so many options available. So let me know in the comments below if you are currently using a Galaxy S8 or S8 Plus, and how is your experience with it so far. And thank you so much guys for watching. Please be sure to subscribe, and see you in the next one.